Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on back to episode 98 of the Top 5 PvP Battles, featuring some of the best players in Cyrodiil and the best fights that they've gotten into. If you guys want to send in your own clips for the top 5, you can send them to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. Now, starting us off today, we have got React Faster, and he is playing some Stamina Sorcerer inside of Cyrodiil here, and he has got a huge mob of red players on top of him. They're alt dumping him, everything. React is going for all the heals around the corner, gets that crystal weapon up, and catches the player with the heavy attack at the end there, finishing him off, and React with a couple really quick streaks, repositioning himself away from the danger of all those ranged attacks. And he resets his buffs, goes for another crystal weapon combo on the first player he can find, the Dawnbreaker into the Executioner, and the red group comes swarming through there. React does a really good streak through the group, and he just gets, again, another kill on the player going for the res, streaking back to safety. A nasty stun there. The enemy players converge on him. React going right through the middle of the group, forcing them to turn around, and he gets that cheeky heavy attack off as he goes around the corner. A really nice stun off of the dizzy swing there, and a quick Executioner to finish him off, and then React goes for a big Dawnbreaker on the two red players. He is packing some damage on this build. Another red player goes down. React quickly resetting his buffs, really using his terrain, going in and outside of the cage there just to avoid these attacks. These red are putting out quite a lot of damage, and a good bit of footwork there, getting behind the players, getting a kill on the low hit point player. Did not heal himself there, and React trying to break distance towards the player going for the stun. He gets caught by that chain, but just sticks it out, rolling through the enemy attack there, and he gets hit super hard, I think, out of stealth there. His hit points dropped really quickly. React manages to react very quickly, gets back behind the pillar, a huge Dawnbreaker, and two players down to the Executioners there. Again, he goes for that ball of lightning, absorbing those projectiles. Such a good skill for this particular fight here, and React finishes another player on the stack of bodies there. He's got three players down, a big Dawnbreaker into the Execute. This guy does not break the stun, and React brings another one down. He continues to apply pressure, and the red player tries to stick out the res there. Not a good call. React quickly punishing him with the bash, the crystal weapon combo, and then he gets caught with a nasty stun there. React has been pushed really hard here. He's got very little resource left in the tank. He streaks through the group, quickly gets a stun on the player going for the res, a big Dawnbreaker into that Executioner, and he manages to catch another red player. Look at the bodies pile up here. He gets another dizzy swing kill on this guy. The werewolf just throwing down pain. Another red player comes in, drops the Destro ult, and that player's going for the res. React stays on top of the werewolf, eventually finishing him off. And the enemy Sorc here just taking too much damage, and he goes down too. What a great fight. And now moving on to the next fight, we have got another Stamina Sorc clip, this time brought to us by Strait Pope. And he's got a huge group of red players chasing him around inside of the building in the Imperial City here. And he just quickly resets his buff. Look at this huge stack. He streaks through the group, drops the meteor. He gets enough ultimate to follow it up with a Dawnbreaker, drops the Dawnbreaker on the group. I don't even think he had time to get an execute off, but so many players going down to that burst there. And Strait just goes for a little bit of a kite gameplay at the top. The blue players start pouring up. There's a ton of players in that stack, but Strait Pope on that Stamsorc manages to work his way outside. A couple players follow in, and he just goes right back towards the stack of blue here. Strait Pope wants to get another big bomb on these guys, just goes for the streak through the group, keeps on pounding that dark deal, getting that healing back, that stamina back. He's pushing his resource big time with so many players after him like this. And he just keeps using that kite maneuver. There we go. He sets himself up, drops the meteor, streaks through the group, goes for the execute. Unfortunately, not able to get, I think, more than one kill on the stack. And Strait, again, just resetting those buffs. Looking at the player low on hit points there. He manages to quickly streak through, hit him with that execute. He goes down, and a beautiful roll backwards into the streak, hitting almost every player with that stun. And Strait just manages to slip down the edge again there. He just goes for some dark deals, gets some more stamina back. The stack of players here, they're looking for the Dawnbreaker. The counter negate comes down right as Strait is about to hit that Dawnbreaker. He comes back up to the top, kites through the group, streaking through everybody again, getting a really good stun, and just pounding more dark deals. He's got a lot of blue on his tail, and they don't want to give him any time to get some of this resource back. Straight Pope on that Stamsorc, though, just doing such a good job using his mobility to buy himself the time he needs. He heads back towards the group of blue. It looks like there's only a couple bodies left on the ground. That initial smack, he killed so many players, and Straight Pope going for a well-placed streak through the window there, and he decides, all right, I've had my fun. We're going to get out of here alive while we can, and he takes that home. And now moving on to our next clip, we've got some more Imperial City action, and this time we've got Pelican ESO playing some Stamina Nightblade. And Pelican is fighting, again, a huge group of red players down in the sewer. And look at these combos out of stealth there. He connects a really good surprise attack. That enemy Sorc just dodging the next combo. And as soon as Pelican pops out aggressively, there's so many players attacking him. He gets another good stun on the Sorc. There we see a really good connection with his ultimate at the end there. Pelican goes around the corner, gets that stealth. The enemy player's putting a lot of pressure, popping him out of stealth there. Pelican reacts with the dodge roll right away, gets pulled by the chain, and he instantly goes into the cloak behind that player. Kind of an advantageous pull there, and he gets good damage in but can't stick that combo out. A lot of pressure from the Reds. He just one-shots that guy right out of stealth. The heavy attack into the in-cap again, and I believe he went for the spectral arrow at the end of that combo. Huge amounts of damage. Another red player going down, and Pelican goes for the attack out of stealth. The enemy player just rolling the attack. Pelican right away getting counter stun, but he set the shade down on the other side. Really good block into the shade teleport, resets his safety shade, resets his buffs, and then he goes into cloak here. The first player that comes around the corner, Pelican connects a beautiful stun from behind there. Another quick surprise attack poke. He goes down. Hits a good stun on this enemy Sorc. A huge amount of damage with that second combo, and Pelican, I think, just kind of held that heavy attack, managing to connect at the end, resetting his buffs here. This enemy player is going for the res. Pelican just quickly hits him with the bash, and he goes right into stealth. Beautiful target change, and that was a 19k Merciless Resolve. Oh my god, he's got some damage on this build. Nuking two players really quickly like that. This enemy Sorc lower on hit points. He is one stun away from being dead here. Pelican just doing a great job kiting the incoming attackers as they jump on top of him. Really good advantageous counterplay on that Nightblade because he engaged low hit points. Pelican timing his heavy to get the kill there. And then he just gets back into stealth. Looking for a big opening on this guy. Beautiful stuff. The delay on the Greatsword Heavy into the ultimate, and that almost all connects at the exact same moment, getting a beautiful one-shot, and Pelican is just picking these guys off one at a time. Every single chance he gets, he's taking it and getting a kill on this group here. Beautiful gameplay to just avoid those attacks. He rolls through the group. He's got the safety shade as well, using the LOS from the pillars, and then getting into stealth once he gets into a position where he can. And that was another really nice kill. The extra range on that Greatsword Heavy, and he shot the spectral arrows real fast. I almost missed it. And Pelican just doing such a good job kiting this group here. He's reading their attacks. He's rolling almost everything. Finally gets caught by that chain pull there, but he right away just shade out to safety and just resets his buffs here. And it looks like he's going to re-engage with whoever comes around the corner. Lets the actual tanky player go first. Doesn't attack him and hits the second player with a nice big combo out of stealth. And that guy goes down. I think he shaded there, or he got pulled by the chain pull again. But he takes advantage of that moment to very quickly go for a target shift, killing the player that's going for a res. The target shifting in this fight, absolutely amazing. Pelican just picking and choosing so well. And he just goes for a bit of a kite on the outside. He gets behind these players here. He drops the spectral arrow on what looked like the Necromancer. Unfortunately, the red are very piled up here, and Pelican's not able to really do anything when they're all that stacked. Very hard to pick a target out. And he finds an enemy Nightblade by himself jumping on top. Pelican very quickly, the counter stun, the surprise attacks, managing to finish him off on very low hit points there before the enemy group can get there. And look at the damage from stealth. Another player just killed by that combo. He goes for the heavy attack, the surprise attack. Two players just like that. Those were just two surprise attacks, one for each of them, and they go down. He goes for the ultimate out of stealth. The enemy player dodges it and goes into the block hold, completely negating Pelican's combo. So a good job to that red player, and Pelican just continues to kite around. He's getting pulled like crazy by these DK chains. and he goes for the cloak into an offensive combo there. He's in a pretty dangerous position here. He's got a lot of players chasing him. That was a really good shade. Unfortunately, he was hit by that chain pull right as he shaded. Pelican goes down, but a great fight nonetheless. And moving on to our next clip now, we have got Danny on his Stamina Nightblade, and he's got a bit of a different clip for us here. You saw that right. This gentleman was carrying the scroll, and Danny just casually knocks him off the edge into the water. And a few unfortunate yellow souls jump off the edge to try to retrieve the scroll. A couple of them end up dying, but one of them manages to get up to the top here. Danny just kites his way through the group there and just hits this player with the scroll with another knockback, just not letting him up the ledge here. This other enemy player just jumping around. Danny knocks him off the edge, quickly going for a little bit of a kite game there, and in just ignoring the players behind him. Danny is absolutely determined to knock as many of these guys off the edge as possible, and he just kites them out a little bit. Another player goes another level down, but now he's got the Templar jabbing him, and he's got the Nightblade on his tail pretty hard here too. They're throwing down a lot of AoE. Danny just goes for a little bit of a kite, goes for his potion as well, pulled by the DK chains, and a weird double teleport there. Danny manages to get back into stealth. He splits off to the side and just gives it a little bit of time. The yellow players piling up here. Now, I know for a fact that they're not going to make this jump without a gap closer, but they're trying to figure out if they can get up here. And Danny's just popping them off the edge one at a time. Every single one of these players that he knocks off the edge like this, they have to jump in the water to die now. They are not going to get out of this situation. And just like that, it looks like he's knocked the entire yellow group off the edge. Another yellow player comes running from the keep. Danny just ignoring him again, completely determined to knock everybody into the water. He puts the scroll player down another level there, and it looks like he's getting chased pretty hard by an enemy Stamsorc. But he's got bigger things to worry about. He just jumps down to the edge. Now this ledge here, you can actually still make it up to the top from, but you have to go around the other side. Danny just waits patiently for this guy to make a bad jump and just knocks him right into the water. I mean, if I haven't seen a ruder clip, I don't even know what to say. Look at these yellow players. They're just giving up. They're all jumping in the water, suiciding. And that has got to be the most interesting scroll group wipe I think I have ever seen in my life. Really, really well played there. Now, moving on to our last clip of the day, we have got some Magicka Sorcerer brought to us by the one and only Malcolm. And he is playing what looks like a very role-focused Sorc here. And he's got a ton of players that run outside of this keep to chase him. And Malcolm's just doing a little bit of kiting here, throwing down some curses and the elemental weapon, just kind of poking these blue players. But they are chasing him hard, throwing out a lot of pressure too. And Malcolm doing a great job just preemptively rolling those attacks, throwing down some curses on these guys and just dragging them out. I think his plan here is to split these guys up as much as possible. But wow, beautiful kill there with the curse. A nice little snap on the roll cancel. One player goes down, and Malcolm's done it. He split the group up a little bit. He managed to get the kill. This guy's going to go for the res. Malcolm quickly tries to get the bash, actually. That was a Templar, though, getting that really fast res off just at the last moment. And Malcolm's going to kite it up a little bit more. That was not a great spot to have that body with so many players chasing him. So not the worst thing, but there's a counter leap from the enemy Dragon Knight, catching Malcolm very, very low health. There's the blue players converge. He responds quickly with his temporal guard, teleporting back to where he was, and manages to roll on and streak out of there. The enemy blue players are continuing to chase him, though, and Malcolm just keeps breaking more distance from the group. Not going too far to get out of combat, though. He's just kind of staying out of, kind of on the edge of the ranged attacks range there, and poking the enemy players. The blue players are charging at him, but they are staying as a group together. It leads me to think that these guys are a little bit more organized because they are very consciously not splitting up, and now they've got everybody on top of Malcolm in the corner here. And they're just kind of giving him this stare down. Malcolm just using that little bit of a ledge to LOS all the attacks from this position. One enemy player on top of him here. One player from the bottom blasting him too. Malcolm actually taking a decent amount of damage, and he's not going to be able to do anything offensively with all those players on top of him like that. He kites out to the side. Gets a great streak through here, follows up with a nice frags, hits him with that execute as he falls there. Malcolm taking some nasty fall damage too, and another really good precog to reset that bad position, and he streaks through the enemy player. It looks like they're going for the res right away, but Malcolm knows that he's not going to be able to keep that body down with all those blue players like that. He again has to kite them out, and he has to try for a little bit of a better position. The blue group is still staying so tight to each other, just one player kind of overextending and playing defensively. Malcolm tries to go for some combos, but the enemy player's just waiting for them, and he breaks a bit more distance, again just kind of staying at the edge of a ranged attacks distance there, and just throwing a few attacks. He gets a decent combo start on this guy's trying to hit him with that elemental weapon. Unfortunately, the enemy player in the front, I think, rolling a lot of the attacks there, and Malcolm just goes for a bit more of a distance break from this group. He is doing a great job just using Sorc's innate speed strength to help him control this fight. If he gets piled by all these players, he's not going to survive. And Malcolm's just using that terrain, that speed to his advantage. A good streak through the group there, forcing them, all of them, to turn around. Two players go flying off the edge. Malcolm actually connecting a really quick combo on the first player there. Streaks through at a perfect angle to actually get that stun, because height isn't part of that equation when you go for the stun. Malcolm managing to get 2 kills. A beautiful convergence on that one blue player there, and he gets a great frag combo into another kill. This guy's going for the res. Malcolm gets the interrupt just, I think, at the last second there, just absorbing the damage from that incoming ultimate while he does it. Precog back to safety, and then continue to keep pressure on this enemy player that's attempting the reses here. Malcolm just curses him up. He sees another player in the back going for it, gets the interrupt, but the enemy player just quickly going into block. Malcolm doesn't stick that one out, and he misses one player, unfortunately, that gets the res, but he's putting a lot of pressure into this other player that was trying for it too. Malcolm finding himself taking a lot of pressure in this open field position, though, as the blue players have slowly surrounded him, but he took quite a few down there, and I didn't see if any of them had released, but there was a large group chasing him, so hopefully he's managed to take a bit of pressure off, getting a really nice kill on the one player that overextends there. The other one that had come up just a little later, Malcolm gets a great streak combo, goes for that execute, the enemy Sorc just dodging the finishing blow there, and Malcolm manages to get a good streak on the end of his stam bar into a safe position on the edge. Really good timing to make that move. And now Malcolm's going for the offensive ultimate. He goes into his overload and just starts feeding this guy huge attacks. The enemy player trying to shield stack that damage. Malcolm connecting with the overload into the execute to finish him off there with that last attack. The enemy Dragon Knight leaping right as Malcolm goes for that streak to break the distance there. And the player on the ground giving Malcolm some props for the nice kill, and he just keeps the pressure up on the rest of these blue. I think this is where Malcolm wants to try to make his stand. He sets down the execute on this guy, goes for some sustained damage with a couple pokes into the frags. That player goes down. He feeds the frag combo to this next guy into the execute. Really good stun with the streak to start that combo off. And Malcolm just goes for the bash right away, and he's actually going to move on to this next target. The enemy player just does not have an answer to the burst from the Sorc there. And Malcolm has managed to kill off almost all of the blue players just like that. He gets a fantastic combo on the player that got res there. And now he's got just one opponent left to fight. Malcolm just feeding him the curses into the elemental weapons. This enemy player just playing purely defensively now after that onslaught from Malcolm killing all his friends. He's holding block, pounding his heels. Malcolm putting out a lot of pressure. The enemy player goes for one jab there, and Malcolm just keeps feeding him frags. This is not looking good for the enemy player. There's that streak stun to get through the block into the execute. What a beautiful play. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have a bonus clip for you guys. And this is brought to you by Nyce ESO, and he is playing a reincarnation of a very old spec that was around for a little while called the Bash Necro. So we hope that you guys enjoy this parting clip. A huge thank you and a massive shout out to everybody who sent those clips in. Some fantastic ESO gameplay and of course some fantastic content creators. So thank you everybody for being a part of the top 5. Of course, we have a link to everybody featured in today's episode down below for you guys, so be sure to check them out. If you guys want to send in your own clips for the top 5, again, you can send them to KristoferESO@hotmail.com, and you can even send in a build to be featured on the channel. Be sure to check out my website, KristoferESO.com, if you want to find written guides to my builds, as well as a hub for all of my ESO content. You can give me a follow on Twitter if you guys want to keep up to date with me. And of course, if you guys want to catch that live gameplay, feel free to come find me on Twitch. We are sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers, and if you have bad ping to your favorite games, they might be able to help you out. It is free to try, a link down below in the description for you guys. And then last but certainly not least, a massive thank you and a massive shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do for a job, so thank you everyone so much for supporting. Thank you everybody so much just for tuning in and watching today. As always, I hope that you guys enjoyed. I will see you next time, and have a great night, everyone.